So, welcome everyone to today's conversation on using assessments to grow your coaching business. It's a fabulous opportunity, and I am super excited to have the expertise here that is available to us. So, if you're a graduate, you have access to give dozens of different assessments right now. And Angie is an expert from Assessments 24/7. She's available to our graduates to help you with your dashboard and help you use assessments. And she's here to share her expertise on things you can do right now to get going. So, Angie, please tell them about you and go ahead, and I'm going to get out of your way. So, thank you.
Fantastic, Kathy. And please do chime in at any time that we act as you feel as you need. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I just want to make sure you guys can see my screen. I'm assuming Kathy will tell me if you can't. So a little bit about my background. I bring over 3 decades of experience to the table, spanning a personal coaching practice, a multi-million-dollar coaching practice, mentoring other coaches, and leading a global coaching franchise where I was the main trainer and organization for that coaching franchise. On a personal note, I'm a proud wife, a mother, and my most cherished of all title is I embrace the role of Lola. And if you don't know what Lola is, it's a term for grandma. Yes, I have 2 grandkids, but no one is to call me grandma. We're just going to leave it at Lola. So my guiding principle in life can be really summarized in 3 letters. It's IAG, standing for It's All Good. This reflects my optimistic outlook that regardless of any challenges we face, everything will eventually work out for the best. So enough about me. Let's get started. And before I forget, we'll have a Q&A session at the end. If you could hold your questions until then, that would be great. This way I can cover everything I need without rushing. I do speak fast. So Kathy, you may say, can you please slow down? But lots to cover, and I do speak fast. And a lot of times I say, listen faster, but that's just me. So I have a very educational and impactful, but actionable presentation today. So I want to make sure that I value your time and also spend a good amount of time answering your questions and what your experience with assessments as well. So the discussion today we'll discuss on our points today is an introduction to coaching assessments. Really kind of some basics. I feel like I need to kind of go backwards a little bit and bring coaching assessments and how to bring in assessments to your business and bring some basics there. Types of assessments. I will focus on the 3 core, and then we'll discuss others because it's very important as we go in, and I'll discuss those as we get into why we use assessments with the 9 workplace challenges and when to use assessments. So the why and the when kind of comes into play of what assessments to use regarding each solution or challenge. How to use as a product, how to sell, market, and really how to get started as well if you don't already have an account with us or not unsure where to go to get started. So today we will talk about how to grow your coaching business through the power of assessments and most popular assessments utilized in coaching. We'll start with a brief overview of what coaching entails, whether it's executive, business, what else? Organizational, leadership, life, or personal coaching. The essence is to truly guide individuals or groups toward achieving their full potential, right? That's what we're here to do as coaches. So as all of you are coaches, you know coaching is not a one-size-fits-all solution. And that's where the importance of personalized approaches really come into play. Each client we meet is unique. They possess their own set of values. They possess their own set of challenges and goals. So to effectively address these diverse needs, customized coaching techniques are essential. And I know that in your training, you're already told that. But this is where assessments become invaluable. Assessments help us as coaches gain deeper insights in our clients' personalities, their behaviors, what drives their behaviors, and more so their thought patterns as well. So with this understanding, we're able to craft those strategies that resonate on a personal level, that fosters that growth and transformation in a way that really truly aligns with each individual's desires, as well as, of course, the organization you're coaching. If you're coaching the organization or the individual, either or. So in the chat box, I'll look at it in just a second. Type in yes if you currently use assessments in your coaching practice, and what do you currently use? So while I'll let you type that in, I will say this. In the 3 decades of coaching, I firmly believe that assessments are an underutilized resource for a coach. By saying underutilized, I mean that coaches often fail to explore both broadly and deeply within an individual or organization, rather than just relying on a single assessment. But using multiple assessments can yield better insights, which we'll discuss today. When it comes to a company, I see coaches only focusing on the CEO or business owner. But I would like to switch that mindset to consider every team member and an assessment, whether there are 2 employees or where there's 10,000 employees. By the way, I can spend so much time on that matter. But the whole idea of what I had just said is to really go wide and deep within the individual as well as the organization. Assessments are also a valuable revenue generating tool, yet many coaches hesitate to charge for this service, or let me rephrase that, charge enough. Therefore, assessments is now an expense and not an investment. So if we turn that mindset is that our assessments is an investment, we embrace the practice of going wide and deep, and don't shy away from charging for your expertise. I've seen coaches transform their entire coaching model by incorporating assessments, leading to significant revenue increases, and often more than $30,000 per year. And in some case, incorporating assessments up to $100,000. I just got a text message. I was on vacation in Hawaii last month in October, and I got this big thank you in my text message to say, thank you. You won't believe how much I increased my revenue this month by changing the mindset of incorporating assessments into my coaching practice. And she was at $76,000 from last December to October of this month, just by incorporating and making it a huge part of their client's journey. So there's an immense power in thorough and comprehensive assessment practices. So let me see what the chat box. Yes, use DISC, 360, leadership effectiveness, and a few others. I love it. Thank you. Because those are one of the ones that I'm actually going to be talking about today. So as mentioned today, I'll explore and highlight 3 of the most popular and effective assessments using coaches and discuss how they can enhance your coaching toolbox. Some of you may know are using all one of 3, like you just mentioned, but don't worry, you'll still gain a lot of knowledge from today's discussion, and I will discuss each assessment and what their benefits are, how it helps you in coaching which is the key here. At the end, I'll do an overview of the 9 workplace challenges and go over the popular assessments that works best for those challenges. So let's move on and dive deep into how these tools can bring a meaningful change your clients' lives here. I think I just switched it. Yeah, so the first and most popular assessment, let's start with the foundation. You guys will probably understand, you guys already know DISC, the DISC assessment, and is the foundation, and in my experience is the most important to understand the individual's behavior, as well as you're looking into team building, etc. So unlike general personality, as I like to say, by the way, behavior, the DISC model zeroes in that 4 primary behavior types, that dominance, that influence, that steadiness, that conscientious. But each of those types offer unique insights into how individuals approach tasks, interacts with others, and respond to challenges. As I work with a coach, I think that the biggest, and why I say it's underutilized, is because we as coaches tend to give them a DISC assessment and say they just want to understand their behavior. Our role as a coach is, how do we keep DISC alive on a day-to-day basis? How do we keep DISC and their style and be able to adapt to other every single day, from, talking to their clients to embracing and connecting with the team members. What does that water cooler talk look like? So the role is kind of switching the mindset of this is a day-to-day practice. So I'm not going to go in exactly what dominance is or steadiness. You guys already have that. There's tools and resources that we're going to show you to get all that. But in coaching, the DISC assessment can really be a game changer, because by understanding the client's primary DISC type, you as a coach can better tailor your approaches, well, their approaches and strategies. For instance, a dominant client may need succinct, goal-oriented coaching, while an influential client might benefit more from a relationship-focused approach. So this not only enhances the coaching experience by fostering that better client-coach compatibility, but it also helps the client gain self-awareness about their interactive styles and areas of potential growth to be a strong leader. So by incorporating DISC in your practice, you're equipping yourself with a versatile tool that can bridge communication gaps, improve relationship management, and really enable you as a coach to deliver a more personalized, impactful coaching session. So if you are using, that's wonderful. How can you enhance that in your coaching practice? If you're not using, I would definitely make this assessment a mandatory part of your coaching programs and your client journeys. So that's the first one that I want to go over. I put this slide in here because I want you to see the power just in DISC. And the reason why I always say DISC, at a minimum, if you're a new coach or you're a senior coach or whatever, at a minimum, this should be your primary assessment. We're going to go over some more and we'll talk about ways to use that. But, at a minimum, if you're new to adding assessments to your organization, let's start here, because this is just a visual of ways to use DISC. And again, I can spend another couple of hours on this one, but understanding your client behavior will help you coach them on creating that winning team that fosters in collaboration, that enhances the culture of the business, strengthening leadership sales. What else? You will help increase your client's sales by helping them to quickly understand the buying persona and tailoring that pitch to the buying style versus pitching to the salesperson style. Be able to deliver that, that customer service. So when you adapt to the person, you go into that customer delight, right? Deliver that wow factor, that customer service. So when you adapt and you apply these into regular conversations, you can definitely have a more powerful and enhance your coaching sessions at the same time, just on DISC. But the Motivators assessment is the second most popular assessment. Motivators is an invaluable tool for uncovering what truly drives and inspires our clients. The Motivators assessments really helps us identify the primary motivators that influence a client's behaviors, their decisions, and overall satisfaction in both personal and professional areas. So understanding these motivators is crucial. It allows us as coaches to align our strategies with what genuinely energizes and compels our clients. When clients are aware of their own motivators, they become more engaged, more focused, more committed to the coaching journey. This awareness really fosters a deep connection to their goals and that intrinsic motivation to achieve them. I'm just gonna take a step back. One of the things is incorporating the motivators assessments into your coaching practice allows you to unlock that more personal, effective, and motivating coaching experience for your clients. But a little story that I had as a high D. So on this point, when I first started coaching, now mind you, this was like 30 years ago, etc. When I first started coaching as a high D, I came in strong. I came in powerful. I signed up, good 10 to 12 clients within the first 3 months. What do you think happened the next 3 months? So I basically ran them to the ground, etc. We got results. We grew their business within 6 months. So started off in the next time, but I lost them within 6 months. And the reason why I lost him is because the way I was taught, as a coach is really, go in there. It's all about the revenue. It's all about, I went into business coaching, revenue and profits and all that kind of stuff. I quickly realized by understanding the motivators that not all my clients were motivated by money. That was a very harsh learning for me. Is okay, well, all this and everything that I have learned and how I coach was all about the money, but I had to take a step back and change the way I coach and adapt it to my clients on what really motivated them. So when I understood what motivated them, not only did I retain them, I mean, I had clients for 17, 18 years. Not only did I retain them into growing their business, retain them as a client, but they grew their business. They were able to do things and they were able to move the needle faster. So I set impact goals. I set power goals. I set all these other goals that maybe wasn't that they didn't actually see the revenue come in, but the revenue, they started growing because it wasn't a hard focus for them. So for me in coaching, it's very important to, remind that although that we have as coaches, we have a special need or a special request from that client, we really need to work through their behaviors and what motivates them to set proper goals for them at the same time. And that was a big, huge learning for me. Moving forward, the third most popular assessments, and we're going to zone in on emotional intelligence, man. This is hot right now. Emotional intelligence is a hot button. I don't know if you guys are seeing it, but we are definitely seeing this. For us, emotional intelligence is that capacity to be aware of, that control and express one's emotions, to handle that interpersonal relationships empathetically as well. It's a critical area of development that really can influence personal and professional success. So why should emotional intelligence matter to us as coaches? The answer really is it lies in direct impact on client outcomes. Just remember that. Integrating emotional intelligence into your coaching practice offers that twofold benefit. First, it provides clients with deep insights into their emotional functioning and relational dynamics. This is the first step towards emotional growth and enhanced interpersonal skills. Secondly, as coaches, these assessments give us a clearer understanding of our clients' emotional strengths and areas for development. So when you tie in behavior and the emotional strengths and development, you can now tailor your coaching strategies a little bit more effectively, guiding your clients, not just towards achieving their goals, but doing so in a way that enriches their emotional well-being and relationships. The reason why I said this is a hot button right now is, and I really hate saying this, but I have to say this because this is true. I want to get rid of the pandemic, the COVID conversation and all that kind of stuff. We're a couple years past that. However, in most cases, in a lot of cases, that is still true today. And in order to be a strong leader, in order to build those connected teams, it's not just building that connected team, it's about building emotional connected teams, building emotional connected relationships within the organization, professional relationships, might I add, etc. But, as you take a look at that, is people now want that emotional connection and feeling of proudness and awareness and that discipline and that management and that that self-esteem and everything to go to work and be happy at work. So integrating the DISC and emotional intelligence in coaching helps the clients recognize how their behavioral patterns interact with their emotional responses. And sometimes emotional is not a good thing, and that's why we have to coach on it at the same time. This awareness allows them to develop that more effective communication strategies and improve that emotional regulation, leading to better, whether it's personal or professional relationships. So you can really tailor it, and it's very impactful to that client because that's where sustainable growth really happens. Now these This slide basically is going to be very basic to you. And I threw this in because I spoke to a couple of CCC coaches just in the last couple of weeks. However, it's one of the most important things to remember when you use assessments. So I want to take just a short time to focus on the practical steps to integrate assessments into your coaching practice effectively. So selecting the right assessment for each client is pivotal, by the way. So start by considering the client's goals, their challenges, and in the context of the situation. So for example, if a client is seeking to improve team dynamics, they may benefit from the DISC assessment, while another focused on leadership development might find motivators or emotional intelligence assessments more insightful, etc. So as you administer the assessments, another critical step is make sure that you have your client in the best environment that is comfortable and free from distractions to help, that client provide genuine reflective responses. One of the things I just spoke to a coach on was, they gave an assessment to, a client that had all this chaos and something was happening and there was fire sirens and everything like that. And then the client, took the assessment and had nothing, wasn't in the right mind. And so the client ended up having to take the assessment again. So make sure that you provide that environment that is comfortable. So one of the biggest mistakes is also as a coach is to give an assessment to a client that they've never taken before. So I highly encourage you, if you have never taken a DISC or a motivators or emotional intelligence or any assessment that you're given to a client, I recommend that you take that. You take it before. This is where you connect with me, and I'm your assessment advisor. I will help you take that assessment, and I will help you, guide that, because I always say, as a coach, practice what you preach. And so you can now say, when I took the assessment, it took me 20 minutes to take. And after that, I had someone interpret my results. And in a session, it was very eye-opening. So you can give that experience, because some people are very, sus or sketchy about taking those assessments, right? So the other thing about integrating assessments into your coaching practice, it requires that, interpreting the results requires that understanding of the assessment tool. So take the time to not only read through the results, but also discuss them with your clients. One of the things that I want to make sure that and at the end, we'll probably, show you how to get in and everything, but we provide you with all those tools, by the way. So if you haven't been in your assessment dashboard, I recommend that you do get into those, because you have full access. One of the things that we have negotiated with Kathy is to give you free resources, from PowerPoints to debriefing guides and everything. So take advantage of those resources, because they're very, very critical for you as you integrate assessments into your coaching practice effectively. Some of you, and the majority of you, probably have already used assessments, and that's great. But these are these little things that will enhance that for you. So, like I said, review all the training materials that's offered to you. I think I said the PowerPoints, the debrief guides, there's informational one sheets about each one. I also encourage you to attend workshops. So whatever commitment you put, time, energy, and effort into this, the best results that you'll get. And by thoughtfully integrating assessments into your coaching practice, you can really deepen your understanding of your clients and really take your coaching to the next level. So this was one of those little basic things that I always like to do, because it's very important that you select the right assessment, you give them the right time to do it, and you'll be able to really kind of focus where that really kind of aligns with you and yours. So as mentioned, I know I'm going fast, but I do want to get to the point where I answer your questions. Today, like I had mentioned, I had selected 3 of the most powerful assessments that you can utilize: the DISC, the foundation, motivators, what drives the behavior, and emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize and understand and choose how we think, how we feel, how we respond, and of course, how we act. These three assessments are the most popular and can really significantly enhance your coaching practice, benefiting from your clients. They're not just your clients, but your teams and their personal relationships, their professional relations. So at a minimum, these three should be part of your client's journey. And that's what I always, whoops, let's go back to that. There we go. On that. So when we take a look at why we use assessments, here are some of the 9 workplace challenges that we focus on when it comes to that, and what I have experienced in coaching. Improving talent and selection process. It takes a lot of money to bring on new hires, right? It is important that we as coaches focus on hiring the right people in the right seat at the right time. So when it comes to enhancing recruitment and selection, it's critical to identify that ideal fit for both candidate and the company or organization. So specialized assessments can reveal a candidate's strengths or potential weak spots when it comes to succeeding in the role. Increasing sales. As we take a look at that, it offers those valuable insights to their sales skills and capabilities. It examines their sales presence and how well it aligns with the requirements, their preferences, and styles of their customers by the clients. So creating world-class leaders. Leaders are instrumental in determining our effectiveness, right? Boosting productivity, reducing employee turnover, building connected teams, modeling that team building. Really, to have that effective teamwork, we need to retain team members and continuously develop their skills to align with objectives and what am I trying to say? Performance metrics. And managing up. A lot of people don't realize, there as assessment, we can actually do that. It is sometimes critical to manage up and assist our leaders in becoming more effective. These tools, assessments is an aid to understand the leaders and their objectives that enables that growth, positive relationships, etc., to where both parties benefit. And of course, onboarding and customizing employee training is critical. So when you take a look at this, I have outlined in this table, I have pinpointed the best assessments for various workplace challenges. As you review it, you'll understand why DISC serves as the foundation. Starting with DISC, you can guide your client on a journey, incorporating other assessments that align with their goals. Again, why we use assessments? We use it as a solution to these 9 workplace challenges that I have designated for you today. Obviously, there's more, but these are the ones that's the most. So improving talent, in going to the talent and selection. We actually have 2 new assessments that were just launched. That's not even on this table. It's workplace insights and executive insights that's not listed on this table. But it is actually. I did put it on there last night. Sorry. So DISC Workplace Insights and DISC Executive Insights. Those are great new assessments that we launched back a couple months ago, which is really exciting. If you take a look at the sales column, you'll see by leveraging those assessments, you can coach your clients to elevate sales performance and achieve a greater success. So if you look in the increased sales category, you have DISC, you have Sales IQ, you have the Sales IQ team report. We also have great target applications. So in your training and resources, obviously you have access to all of these, but in your training resources, one of the things I want to highlight is this DISC target applications. Those are my favorite things to give to a client. And I use them as what I call a CNE, a critical non-essential, right? So if they take a DISC, I actually say, are you in sales? Are you in leadership? Are you in service? Right? And they're just like, I'm in leadership. Great. I have a bonus application on how leadership ties to DISC. So I give them that. if I'm doing a team building for sales, they all get this bonus application of sales on how sales ties into DISC and things to look for. So these training materials and resources are critical for you. If you're not using them, I recommend using them. And you'll have a link to in the PowerPoint. I'll give you an opportunity to write down my calendar link, and I can help you through this. Like I said, consider me as your assessment advisor. I will work with you to go through those training materials, but I would also work with you if you say, hey, Ange, I have a client that's looking this and coaching them on sales. What assessments? Can you guide me through the sales IQ? Can you help me, etc.? I'm here to support every effort for you to bring assessments and deliver them the way they need to be to enhance your coaching journey. I can say, Kathy, we just spoke on this for your clients. My recommendation is just use DISC, right? Or I would say, you know what, we may want to do a little combination with this client. Let's do DISC and motivators. Or we have another, this just happened. We have a lot more assessments that's not on this page, by the way. I had a coach who works with churches. And I said, well, do you know? I was like, here's one of the things that we can offer you. I was like, we actually have a biblical DISC. So it is important to have these conversations so I can really help you utilize assessments into that. So what you may have access to, we actually may have more if you come to me and say, hey, I'm looking to do this with my client, etc. Now, all of them aren't acceptable. They're like specialized assessments that we have to manually add to the account. I would love to give you everyone, but we're looking at about 1,200 assessments. That's going to overwhelm you, etc. But utilize me in a way to help you incorporate the assessment. So whether it's DISC, whether it's motivators, if you've never done organizational development, those of you who are organizational coaches, and or the organizational development is a great performance gap, and it should be. If you do strategic planning, organizational development is a great assessment for that, because that is meant for you to have a 2-day strategic thinking or strategic planning session with your clients. So I'm truly happy to help you on how to really organize this for you. Now, in these 2 slides, they're a little redundant. I'm not going to go into them for time's sake. I only put this in here as a reference because this is a webinar and it's being recorded, and I will give Kathy and the team this PowerPoint to give to you. So I really only outline this as a quick snapshot as a reference for you to go back on. It's not for me to kind of discuss for them, but these are kind of differentiators of those core assessments: DISC, motivators, emotional intelligence, the 360s, leadership effectiveness, executive insights, the core competencies, etc. So I just threw that in just so you can have a reference, by the way. But they're all in your training materials for you and everything. So they're all available for you, but I just wanted to use that as a reference. So one of the biggest questions I always have, in the next 2 slides we'll go over, is how do I use assessments as a product and a revenue stream? Well, here's the thing. It is more simple than you think. etc. It should be a mandatory part of your client's journey. And that's what I was talking about when I said, my friend Sarah, texted me and she increased it over $70,000 for this year of incorporated. She actually made it part of her enrollment packages. She made it part of her discussions and parts. So they'll say, one of the things I want you to understand, that the assessments is a tool to enhance your coaching business. And I think I said that in the very beginning. That's one of the biggest mistakes that coaches make, is they go out, I'm going to go out and sell DISC, or I'm going to go out and sell emotional intelligence. I'm going to go out and do 360s or whatever. And that's how I'm going to talk. And that's how I'm going to talk to the clients. That's not what you do. What you do is, if you're going in and doing leadership coaching, if you're doing financial coaching, if you're doing profit coaching, career coaching, life coaching, whatever it is, this is a tool. Assessments is a tool that is ingrained into your coaching programs. So for me, it's like, I position the clients as every one-to-one client takes a DISC. Every team member takes a DISC. No matter what program. Do I have a 12-week program? Do I have a leveraged program? Do I have, a 4-hour workshop? Every offering that you have embed, an assessment through it. If you do sales training, let's talk DISC plus the bonus application that we talked about. This is where I come into play. Hey, you've got this workshop. Let's figure out and tie an assessment to it. In your case, if that's what you're doing, we may not do DISC and do the bonus application. We may do sales IQ. Does that make sense? But so I would take a look at your product offering. I would take a look at your one-to-one clients. How do we incorporate into that? They actually should be in that discussion from the very beginning, is part of how I coach and enroll you. I'm going to send you a link to take the assessment, because, in order for you to become a strong leader, I need to understand the best ways to coach you and understand your style so you can adapt to the rest of the organization. Every team member takes a DISC. You then will say, in the next 90 to 120 days, now that you have taken it, now you understand the assessment, we're going to do this with every single team member in the organization. So we may do this over a 6-month period, depending on how many clients you have. And if they only have 3, we're going to say, hey, in 90 days, all 3 of your employees are going to take it. And we're going to do a workshop on how you guys work together, etc. So take advantage of the assessment inventory that we have, and have conversations with me, and I will help you tie those assessments to your product, depending on what you coach. Some of you may be career coaches, leadership coaches, business coaches, executive coaches, organizational coaches. Doesn't matter. We can tie in an assessment to use that as a product. But it's changing that mindset of, this is my product, here's the assessment that goes with it. I'm throwing this in today for you because I, like I said, I've spoken to quite a few, and I've kind of changed up what I was going to talk about based on these conversations. And one of the biggest questions I get is, what do I charge? And I'm just going to give you a sample I received from a coach, by the way. This is actually a true sample that I received, and I'm going to give you basically what I added, what I have done, and what I have experienced with coaches. So like I said, this is just an example that she came up with. This is what she's using. But let me add first, her biggest shift was that every client takes an assessment, no matter what level the client is. She even has a book club. And in her book club, that client takes an assessment, by the way. So she took a look at, so one-to-one clients, anything over $1,500 a month. And now, mind you, she's a fairly new coach, by the way. I just want to let you say she's a fairly new coach. She's only been a coach for 3 years. And so for me, I will let you know, there's a whole thing about confidence in pricing. So being very confident in your pricing, this was hers. And I thought it was a great example for her being a coach that's been 3 years. I will tell you what I charge in just a moment, by the way, what I have charged. And what some of the most senior coaches and everything, I'll get into that. But for her, I thought this was the most simple pricing that she kind of came up with. So anything greater than $1,500 a month, she would actually give them a free disc and disc motivators. So she kind of threw that in because she was getting $1,500 a month, and of course times 12. So she threw that into her enrollment package. Anyone less than $1,500 a month, she would charge $149 for the disc. And she gave them a kind of a discount for that debrief, etc. So in this case, she's charging anything under $1,500 a month, $149, which includes the debrief. In her group and leverage program, they all pay for $149 for a debrief, $49 for a disc only, or $79 for disc and motivators only, etc. So if they don't want that debrief, just so you know. So I thought this was really cool, just to kind of show just the simplicity of kind of how you can add to this. For me, and I really hope this gives you an idea of ways to charge and get you thinking that every client takes an assessment. Especially if you don't always have to give this to one-to-one clients. And again, it must be clear, each of you have a different coaching model. If you need to strategize, please schedule time with me. I'll help you through it and everything. Here's what I've done and what a lot of coaches do. Kathy Liska and the team at CCC has given you great pricing already. They're giving you wholesale pricing. What most coaches charge is at a minimum 2 times that charge. Okay, so let's say for example, $30 or whatever, because for some reason I don't have this written down. Kathy, you may have to jump in on this. I can't remember what the cost is. So anyway,
Like the
so
disc is
yeah,
$26.
$26. Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
That's what I was like. I was getting ready to say 30, but that didn't mesh well. I knew that wasn't it. So, we give you wholesale pricing for Kathy. So that's one of the perks and that's one of the benefits. At a minimum, coaches charge 2 times, so 52. So just so you know, so they actually make $26. As a senior coach, they charge up to 5 times that amount, etc. So just kind of give you a variety of ways to do that and kind of how to charge for the assessments, because this is my biggest question ever is, not just marketing and selling, but pricing and really how to incorporate it. But pricing is a huge part. I personally charge $1,500. So I charge $1,500 for the assessment and a 45-minute debrief that walks away with an action plan. Basically, like I said, my 30 years, that's fine with me. That's what works for me. So you have to kind of look and see what works for you and kind of take a look at your programs, your models. Each of you, like I said, have different models. I'm assuming anyway, have a different coaching model in what you do. Some of you don't do one-to-one clients. You may just do coaching, leverage, or retreats and strategic planning. My strategic planning is $25,000. So when I do a 2-day retreat, or I'm sorry, a 2-day retreat is about $37,000, $25,000 for the day. I give a break on the second day. So in assessments is, added to your pricing depending on how many people. But I encourage you to really take a look at your pricing and take a look how you can incorporate this into your coaching. And again, happy to set aside. I'm sure Kathy will help as well. But, it can be a significant revenue stream for you that's embedded into your coaching programs. And I will say this because this is one of my favorite slides. Assessments is a tool that will enhance your coaching business. It's not about, oh, I'm going to go with you and do DISC, or I'm going to go do emotional intelligence. It is what you're currently offer, and that's how you sell and market as such. So when it comes to selling and marketing assessments, the languaging needs to be congruent with your coaching model and your targeting. So if you focus on leadership, that's basically what you're going to be doing. So if you want to target clients that want to build a team, and I'm going off this slide here, DISC as a tool will help increase that communication, that team engagement, that culture, and to build those better relationships. So the marketing message should be how to build effective communication in your business. Now, did you see that doesn't say anything about DISC? Either no one knows about DISC, or if they know this, they think it's a personality assessment. And it's like, I don't need to do that because I've already done that. But your role is how DISC can help and enhance your clients. And what can DISC do? Most people have taken the assessment and they've never thought about it. Your role as a coach is how are you going to keep this alive? And that is through effective communication in the business, or building that culture, increase that communication, that team engagement, increase the culture. That water cooler talk is so fantastic now, etc. So it's a different thing. And that's where a lot of coaches, in my opinion, are somewhat kind of making a mistake a little bit when it comes to that. So when it comes to marketing, I want you to think about a different way to get clients. Some of you probably are already doing this, but take a look at your sales funnel and using assessments as an access point to your sales funnel. That's the difference. That's right. Assessments as the access point. A lot of you are already doing this model, seminar, workshop to a client. If you're not, I highly suggest that you do. Educate them to buy, enroll them into an event. Let me say this again, enroll people into an event. I'm having an event on the 30th, etc. So, but before going further, let's get some engagement here. For those who know me, you already, you may already know the answer if I've already spoken to you before. What's the difference between a seminar and a workshop? Seminar / webinar. A seminar is an event, workshop an event, should be the same thing, right? But a seminar webinar event is free. A workshop event is paid. A seminar is meant to be the teaser and an overview, giving them a little bit, taken away, 1 to 2 things that they could easily implement in their business or roll right away. Throughout the seminar, you sell the workshop or consultation. So remember, positioning is important, and you're going to go in and give them a little bit of teaser and then sell them into workshop to go deeper, right? And just be very clear on what the outcomes are. So you can utilize assessments into seminars. Now, here's the cool part too. When you go into your training resources, you already have that available to you. There's a mini disc workshop is meant to be a seminar webinar for you. There's a 2-hour workshop already created for you to go deeper. So the material and training resources are already there for you to do this model and use assessments as an access point. Now, I want you to think about your products and what you're offering. The title should be congruent with your coaching model. Remember that, and your target market. So in my opinion, when you take a look at these: communication, behavior, leadership, team, relationship, engage, those are just my recommendations on regarding titles. And one of my biggest, one of my, when you take a look at titles, these are those, well, I typed in 6 here, engage. Those are the 6 core titles. And one of my favorites came in of all time is communication, the biggest gap in business. Communication, the biggest gap in leadership. Communication, the biggest gap in relationships. How to build effective communication. Communication through crisis, even. If you have some ideas, great, because that's what you do, and that's how you work your seminar. So you're working on communication. Let's say communication, the biggest gap in business. That's the one, or leadership. Let's use leadership. Communication, the biggest gap in leadership. You use that mini disc seminar or whatever it may be, and then that workshop is to go deeper in that. Right. And then now they become a client because you're going to put them in one of your leadership programs, right? Because that's what you're going to be doing. So one of the things and a shift in mindset is not using the, DISC or motivators or emotional intelligence in your titles. What is it that they do for them and how can it enhance them? So changing that just a little bit will be a critical, or let's say pivotal part of increasing your product, increasing your revenue, et cetera, and or getting clients, because that's the biggest thing. So I think someone had a question on their website. I highly encourage this also being on your website, is taking a look, adding assessments to your website. But what is it? How does it tie into your coaching? Okay, not that it's just DISC, but how does this tie into the coaching programs that you're offering? And that's how you should incorporate assessments on the website. So just to kind of wrap up, because I'm going to take just the last couple of minutes to answer questions, but a few of the benefits of your assessments 24/7 account is you have wholesale pricing. There's no account fees. You have access to our entire assessments library. There's already some selected ones in your inventory, but like I said, we have others that may be doing that's through conversations. And then you also have those sales and marketing materials, those PowerPoints, etc. You also do have additional assessment opportunities from going wide and deeper a little bit. You want to go deeper, you want to become an expert. We worked out a great deal with Kathy from our $29.95 to $15.95 to get certified, etc. And then she also has a great deal. We worked with Kathy on a great deal. I'll show you that website in a second. But while I stop sharing my screen, I'm going to kind of go back to Kathy. You guys can type in the questions a little bit. I'm going to go into that. I know I went really fast, but I felt like I had a lot to cover because I've been speaking with a lot of CC coaches and just in the last couple of months, and I felt like I just needed to put it all in a webinar for you. So sorry, apologize for being really fast, but crossing fingers, even one tip helps you as a coach incorporating assessments into your business. So I'm banking on the one nugget, and that's all I need is for you to have one nugget from this. So Kathy, I'm going to locate the website while I'm doing that. Do we have any questions? Do you have questions? I can help with that as well as we start wrapping things up.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for everybody to see the website. So if you are a graduate of the Center for Coaching Certification, you have this dashboard. You already have it. Some of you have accessed it, some of you haven't. As Angie said, she will sit and meet with you to go through, answer your questions, and help you actually use it. It's an incredible opportunity. So yeah, Angie, this one is on our website, and then I also want them to see the actual dashboard, which they can get to from here.
Oh, yeah, let me stop sharing my screen. I apologize for that.
No, yeah, put it up where you were.
Yeah,
you were there.
Hold on a second. Yeah, hold on.
Mm.
Right. I got to figure out my own stuff here. This one, right?
Actually, can I pull up a few things for everybody?
Yeah, why don't you? I think I went to the wrong site there.
Let's do this. Let's go here. So if you're a graduate of the Center for Coaching Certification, the place you can get information on the assessments, you click how it works. And on this page, number one, there's an incredible deal. This is a subscription if you're doing a lot of assessments. It's an amazing deal. You've got the quick start guide. Angie started going there. And then you can schedule a meeting with Angie to have her help you with your dashboard. It overviews a lot of what she covered. The other thing that I'm really excited for all of you to see, if you haven't already logged into your dashboard, is the actual dashboard. So I'm going to log into mine. And what I will say is from your dashboard, you can access all of these training materials. She mentioned the discount on the certification. You've got marketing. You also have sample reports. And then you can go in and see all these different assessments that you're able to give. With your dashboard, what you can do is set up your header and footer so that you will see your logo here. You can put in your website, your email address, your phone number, whatever you want to put there. And the beauty of doing that is that every time you give an assessment, it will print your information right on the assessment report. So that's a really great thing to be able to do. I do make one recommendation. Angie, tell me what you think of this, is I say currently it defaults to where the assessment goes directly to the client. I recommend that you change that and have the assessment come to you. Then when you're in a debrief with the client, give it to them then. And the reason is when people receive that assessment, the tendency is for them to go negative.
100%.
Yes. So if you're with them when they receive the report, as coach, you can direct their focus and ask questions so that they're paying attention to what they can learn, what they can do. If they do want something to be different, how do they get it to be what they want it to be? So that's, to me, a great thing. Angie mentioned the materials. I'm just going to do one of these. So I'm going to copy this password for Disk, and I'm going to click on the button here. And then I'm going to click on it again. And I'm simply going to paste the password that I just copied. And now you have access to all of these materials that Angie was sharing with you, including materials for doing workshops and presentations. So fabulous resource.
If you scroll down just a little bit more for me, Kathy, while you're there, those are those target application tips I was just talking about. Those are my favorite. And I will tell you, it is, and as a coach, CNEs, these critical non-essentials, these little bonus things, it's the same as giving them a birthday card or an anniversary gift, right? This is the same thing. Like you're giving them that bonus, which is good. So I highly recommend you guys have, and the coaching tips for you as well, but anyone who mentors our leadership, they can get the coaching tips as well. But if you scroll down just a tad more, these are the presentations that I was talking about. There's that mini disc presentation that is meant for that seminar, that little teaser webinar, and the 2-hour presentation. And as sorry, as Kathy alluded to, that in your account, you can put your logo on it. In your thing, you can do the same thing with these resources, by the way. So when you download them, it just is a PowerPoint, put your logo on it as well. So I highly encourage that you do that. And then Kathy, if you can just play with me for a second and scroll all the way up to the very beginning. This one's very, very critical. The very first one, oh, sorry, I did miss, just right on the left-hand side, the very, very first resource is that debrief guide. And if anything, that is your script to debrief your client for that. So you can see that these available resources, you may not even need me. They're right here, right? I'm here to help you grow your coaching business, etc., and help you use them and everything. But happy to help at
Can I say something? It's just occurring. This might be really important for people to know.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay Angie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's already covered. It's part of this deal. So, sorry, you're kind of crazy to miss out on that, right? It's a great opportunity. Okay, sorry, I had to say.
So speed, yeah. Great. Now my calendar's gonna be blown up, but no, it's great because that's what I want to see. I have a passion for coaches. I've been in the industry, like I said, for a little over 3 decades, and I have a passion for you as coaches because one of the things I quickly realized that helped me really build a successful coaching practice by myself was utilizing assessments. And once I did that, it made a pivotal turn for that. And, I've added 360s down the road. But those 3 core ones made a huge impact and was a game changer in my own personal business. And I have seen it through a lot of coaches. I put in the chat, actually, I just realized that it's not to everyone. So let me try that again. I think I just only sent it to you by accident, but so I'm going to put it to everyone now. There we go. There's obviously the phone number that goes to our main one. I don't recommend that you use that because it's really not going to get that to me now that I think about it. It'll go to my support team. But there's a support email address. And that support email address will allow you to say, hey, Angie talked about organizational development and I don't have access to that. Email them, they will add it to your account. Okay.
Yeah. I'm seeing the address ends with
.ws. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It just basically goes into our ticketing. It's good. But I also have given you my email address. You have questions based on today, happy to schedule time. That link underneath my email address is a link to my calendar. Feel free to use it. I speak to coaches as needed. I actually have several coaches that I speak on a monthly basis. I'm not saying that's you or that's needed or whatever, but I'm here to support and be your assessment advisor to really, truly help you and Kathy, in regards to your coaching. So happy to help as well as my team. And I also, not just me, Kathy has hundreds of coaches out there. I also have a great team, by the way. So if I'm not available, I send it over to our other resident experts at the same time. So it's not just me handling, it's my entire team that will support you at the same time.
Yeah, which is awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has been quiet in terms of the chat box. There's several people here. What are your questions? What else do you want to know?
And if you just want to have the one-on-one with me and ask your questions, I'm totally fine with that too.
You're busy accessing your calendar and scheduling, right?
Yeah, all good. But hey, I mean, like I said, I know I went fast, and my goal into every webinar is really to provide you just, if you can just take away one thing. And, whether it's pricing, because every one of you are at a different level in your business today. You may already have pricing that might have been irrelevant for you. You may already use DISC, emotional intelligence, but selling, adding to your website, all that kind of stuff. Maybe that was your takeaway. So each of you are all in a different space and happy to discuss whatever level you are, wherever you're at in your business, and the best way I can help you in any aspect of that, of incorporating assessments, please feel free.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And this recording will go up on the YouTube channel, and I'll send everybody that registered a link so you can go back and visit it again. That way, Angie, no worries if it was talking fast. It's all good.
Yeah. Okay, making this fast forward.
It's
Yeah.
all good.
I had this thing in the beginning. I'm a fast talker, so listen faster. And I'm like, yeah, that's a high key right there. So
Yeah, right?
it's all
Totally.
good.
Totally.
Yeah.
So do want to say, Angie, thank you. Thank you a million for the information. Very excited about getting this recording out to people. Thank you, everyone, for being here, for your interest, and do reach out with your
Yes.
questions and take advantage of the opportunity. So, make it a
Well,
great
thank you,
one.
Kathy. It's been an honor, Kathy. And please, you also reach out to me as you need. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.